Hi, Tracy McGovers, Tracy Sews. I know it's been a long time. I have been learning new things and I keep thinking I need to get on there and update and share, and I just keep doing more. So I inherited a large group of books about pattern drafting and decided it was finally time to start drafting my own patterns. I started with the basic sloper, a fitted long sleeve, elbow dart, bodice fitted, 2 darts, back bodice, 2 darts, and then the skirt has 2, 4, 6 darts, pencil skirt. So from those designs, you're supposed to be able to make any dress, shirt, or skirt by slashing and spreading or pivoting and turning these. Not so new terms. I've seen them a million times. I had just never done it. I've always done vintage patterns, but I am tired of making vintage patterns, doing all of these alterations to fit how short I am, and then still having to do alterations afterwards when they're not perfect. This was no easy feat. I have been just not stressed, but on times on the verge of tears when I wasn't getting the fit right, especially with the first 4 basic slopers that I made. Everywhere what's called drag lines or pulling, like if something is too tight, if something has got too much fabric, a lot of it was too much fabric, and so trying to figure that out and just keep shortening that waistline, and then I'm like, I only have 15 inches, so that's what it is. So I have to date started making these, and these are my basic blocks. So we've got the sleeve, and then I've written the grain line, all of the information on them. This is the basic skirt back. So the basic bodice back. So these are all of the basic pieces. And then we've got the front, and I marked the apex. Even learning to just transfer the paper patterns to this poster board was a feat. So that was my first one. I did 4 runs until I got it semi-right, and I still had to alter some stuff. Seems right now, but as long as my body doesn't change. And then I want to do, for my first design, taking this and hacking it, something very, very simple. So I went ahead and did an all-in-one bodice. So that's got this little kind of kimono sleeve. It's not even a sleeve, it just protrudes out a little bit front and back, and an A-line skirt. And I don't see it, but somewhere I did the a gathered one. Let's see, there it is. It looks really funny. Like, this is the neckline, because this will all gather up and then you make bias tape to match. I had to do 4 of these before I got it right too. Like, you think like, oh, once you get one thing right, it's just going to come natural. But when I altered this, when I altered the original to this, it made it longer and bigger, and it was way too big. I thought, since I have such a small bust, that I would add more gathers, and it made a balloon top, all kinds of things. So my third design, I changed a few things. I got the pneumatic paper. It's got letters and numbers on them to help with straight lines, and it is just a lot more pliable than the tissue paper I was using. Was like thick, and you couldn't really bend it. And then I redrafted a shirt pattern, and this time I made a muslin. So I'm gonna make a 1950s shirt dress, and I made an actual muslin to check it, and it only had 1 fit issue. I just needed it to overlap a little bit more, so I added a 1/2 inch to each side, and that was it. The color pattern I made fit perfectly. So it just, like everything else, no matter the skills you have, because you have to know the construction yourself at this point. You have to know like how to And I'm actually, when I redraft this onto poster board, if this one works out right, I'm gonna put this in my arsenal of pieces, and I can mix and match all these pieces. So I'm going to actually like curve this in more, but I added a 1/2 inch here, and everything else was great. So you have to know how to like put everything together already. So the 23 years of practice has come in handy knowing how to do all of the construction. So I'm excited to share. I have picked out a few things. We are doing the Make Frosting Challenge in the Dayton Garment Designer Meetup group. I don't know who's participating, but we're doing a coffee meetup on December 9th, and whether you do it or not, you can still come to the meetup. I'm excited to see everybody before we go on this van life tour for the month of January. But I've got this fabric. I had a dream that I won all these awards, and that they told me they were like, oh, you won all of these sewing awards, like everything you entered into the competition you won. What you really should do is make a McDonald's dress. And when I posted on Facebook, people were like, you know, you can buy that fabric. So I bought McDonald's French fry fabric. It's got red and white checkerboard on the back and little M's and the McDonald's French fries on it. But I only got 3 yards. I wasn't thinking about lining up and matching up the print, which I will do for the bodice and the skirt. But I also thought I would do like pin tucks and all of these things. I had all these 50s shirt design inspiration pictures, and not so much, because 3 yards isn't enough to do a bunch of pin tucks and a bunch of stuff. So we will still try to do some of the pin tucks. They may just be at the bottom, but I rated all of my stash. So we're gonna have a side zip, even though it's gonna button down the front. I've got a Vintage That Works metal zipper, and I've got some white square buttons. So since the fabric is so loud, I'm gonna try to like just use white accents. And then I got white piping for the collar, so you can tell the difference between the collar. And then this should be enough to put into the cuff of this shirt sleeve. So it's a shirt dress. And then I have 3 things of jumbo piping that I can put in the pin tucks and have them just show the bottom of the rickrack. So it'll just show like the little tips. So that's another thing that I can play with. So what I've done is I drafted my pattern yesterday. I made the muslin bodice yesterday, gave it a dry run. Today I'm just thinking about all the things, and then I got my machines all ready to go. Tomorrow is Black Friday, and I'm gonna spend the whole day sewing, and then I'll buy stuff. Rosewood Art Center has a holiday Rosewood event where they have like all of the artists make stuff. So I'm gonna buy stuff from there and drop in maybe for a friend's small business thing, and spend what little bit of money I have locally celebrating some of the other makers, because people celebrate me and give me things and buy my things, so I want to give back. But that's it. I hope that you have a wonderful holiday. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments. If you haven't heard from me in a while, tell me how you're doing. That's it. Tracy McElfresh, Tracy Sews, Dayton, Ohio, located inside of Rosewood Art Center. I do alterations 4 days a week, mostly on women's clothing, so no couch cushions. Bye.